Edwin Hubble. Give up 3 minutes of smartphone use in the morning, and you will reboot your brain. Have you ever felt that subtle pang of guilt when you open your eyes to a new day, only to find your fingers automatically inching toward your phone, checking notifications, scrolling through feeds, or tapping out quick replies before you have even had a sip of water? Have you sensed that groggy sense of detachment, as though a film of digital haze obscures the clarity that morning once promised? Now imagine a voice whispering from the annals of astronomy, a voice belonging to Edwin Hubble, the astronomer whose discoveries prove that our universe is expanding. Picture him saying, in measured tones, "Give up just 3 minutes of smartphone use in the morning, and you will reboot your brain." Why would such a titan of cosmic understanding speak to a mundane daily habit like phone scrolling upon waking? Because rumor has it, Hubble viewed the morning mind as a frontier every bit as mysterious as distant galaxies, a realm that, if disrupted by the jarring intrusion of digital noise, could stifle the mental expansion needed for daily brilliance. And if the father of modern cosmology took the stance that those first moments of your day are so delicate, so critical for shaping your consciousness, perhaps that counsel is worth heeding. So stay with me right until the end of this sweeping narrative, because by its close, you will not just grasp the core logic behind Hubble's surprising admonition, but also discover a practical routine, grounded in both cosmic perspective and modern neuroscience, that might genuinely refresh and reboot your brain. Indeed, the final piece might shake up your morning habits far more than you expect. Hubble's place in history is well documented. With careful telescope observations in the 1920s, he established that the spiral nebulae were actually galaxies beyond our Milky Way. Later, he measured the relationship between a galaxy's distance and its receding velocity, formalizing Hubble's law, paving the way for the Big Bang Theory. Yet behind that cosmic leap in understanding, Hubble was also a man who navigated the everyday demands of research, social obligations, and personal discipline. The rumor that he discovered or advocated a morning practice to protect mental clarity might be overshadowed by his monumental astronomical work, but certain anecdotes and letters indicate a side of him intrigued by how we wake up each day. Because if the universe's expansion reveals how cosmic structures drift apart over billions of years, perhaps the morning mind, if mishandled, can unravel in microseconds, letting clutter, stress, or trivialities hamper our higher reasoning. The improbable statement, "Give up 3 minutes of smartphone use in the morning, and you will reboot your brain," might be apocryphal, but it resonates with a recognized phenomenon. The first minutes after waking can set the tone for your entire day, and if you sabotage them with mindless phone browsing, you might degrade mental focus more than you realize. So how do we connect Hubble, the man known for cosmic revelations, to a caution about morning smartphone usage? The answer likely lies in the synergy between cosmic perspective and daily discipline. Hubble spent countless hours peering at faint galaxies, often working nights at observatories. He understood the fragility of perception and how a slight disruption, a mechanical glitch, a stray light source, could ruin observational clarity. He recognized that the best scientific insights arose in calm, carefully managed sessions. By analogy, perhaps he concluded that your mind upon waking is akin to the observatory's retina, an instrument of perception that must be shielded from stray signals or jarring stimuli. The smartphone, crammed with notifications, social media updates, and ephemeral dopamine hits, might be the mental equivalent of letting floodlights into a sensitive telescope dome, washing out the faint cosmic signals you might glean from your subconscious or from the hush of a fresh new day. Of course, in Hubble's era, smartphones did not exist, so it is anachronistic to say he literally cautioned about phone usage. Likely, the original context was different. He might have spoken about newspapers, telegrams, or abrupt social intrusions, urging a quiet morning reflection before external demands swarm the mind. Over time, the rumor might have evolved, substituting the modern smartphone for old-time telegraphs or radio bulletins. The principle remains: hurling yourself into external chatter first thing can pollute mental clarity. And so we can interpret Hubble's rumored statement as a timeless principle. In an age of relentless digital stimuli, the phone is simply the prime culprit. If you can forego it for just a few crucial minutes, you preserve the pristine calm that fosters creativity and reason, two mental pillars Hubble deemed essential for deeper understanding. But is 3 minutes enough to matter? Some might scoff that a mere 180 seconds of phone avoidance is negligible. Yet modern neuroscience suggests that even small windows can shape neural patterns. When you wake, your brain transitions from slow wave or REM sleep into a mild wave of cortisol that helps you become alert. If you instantly submerge that transitional state in a flood of notifications, stressing about emails, or comparing yourself to curated images on social media, you risk amplifying stress hormones, overshadowing the quiet reflective mode that might have yielded fresh insights. Alternatively, if you let the mind settle for a few minutes, maybe focusing on your breath, your body sensations, or gentle gratitude, you harness a calmer cortisol shift, forming a stable mental platform for the day. The difference might be intangible at first, but repeated daily, it accumulates into sharper focus, steadier emotions, and more robust cognitive resilience. That synergy is precisely why 3 minutes, though small, can serve as a pivot point. At this juncture, let me pose our first question for reflection or for you to consider in the comments. Think about your usual routine upon waking. Do you grab your phone almost reflexively, scanning messages or social feeds? And how do you suspect this shapes your morning mindset? If you gave yourself even 3 phone-free minutes, might you glean a sense of calm or direction you currently forfeit? Returning to Hubble's supposed logic, we can guess that he recognized how quickly extraneous signals can distort an observation. In cosmic observation, stray light or flawed calibration can compromise data. In daily life, intrusive phone checks similarly sabotage your mental data. Freed from that immediate digital injection, your morning mind can reorient, glean subtle cues from your body's state, recall fleeting dream fragments that might spark creativity, or simply proceed with calm deliberation. Over time, you cultivate a morning habit akin to an internal cosmic session, scanning the vast interior landscape before the day's noise intrudes. That might be the essence of rebooting your brain. Just as a reboot flushes out software memory, letting systems load fresh, these phone-free minutes let your neural networks launch fresh, rather than drowning in external demands from the get-go. But why, you might ask, only 3 minutes? Because it is small enough to be feasible for almost everyone, yet long enough to hold significance. If you demanded half an hour phone-free, many would balk. 3 minutes is minimal but potent, a mental palate cleanser. Perhaps Hubble recognized that a big ask, like a full morning offline, would meet resistance, so he singled out a short but crucial interval, the threshold between sleep and full wakefulness. This is the golden window for forging mental direction, akin to an astronomer calibrating instruments before the big observations. Miss that calibration, and the entire observation session is compromised. Miss the short phone-free zone, and your day's cognitive baseline is compromised. One might wonder if there's broader data supporting how the phone's morning intrusion stifles mental well-being. Indeed, multiple modern studies link immediate phone use upon waking to increase stress, reduce productivity, and weaker mental clarity throughout the day. The interruption of natural waking rhythms, the bombardment of notifications fueling stress or negative comparisons, all weigh heavily. A constant theme is that giving yourself a gentle, internally guided start fosters better emotional regulation. So, ironically, a statement that might sound out of place from a 20th century astronomer proves prescient in the 21st century, where phone dependence is near universal. If Hubble's principle stands, we might see a wave of new morning routines revolve around phone-free mindfulness, ironically rediscovering a synergy that the father of cosmic expansion recognized in simpler form. Now, how do we adopt a method that operationalizes give up 3 minutes of smartphone use in the morning and you will reboot your brain? Let's propose a step-by-step approach. Before sleeping, Set your phone out of immediate arm's reach, perhaps on a nearby desk or in another room, if feasible. If you rely on it for an alarm, fine, but ensure you must physically rise to turn it off. This small friction helps you avoid reflexively opening notifications. Once you wake to the alarm, switch it off, but do not check anything else. Resist the impulse to see messages or emails. For 3 minutes, time it if needed, remain phone-free. Use that interval for a short mental or physical routine. Slow stretching, a few deep breaths, maybe sipping water, or just noticing how your body feels. Alternatively, recall a dream fragment or set a day's intention. The crucial part is no phone interaction. If anxious thoughts of "what if I miss something urgent" arise, remind yourself that 3 minutes is negligible. If an emergency truly occurred, a 3-minute delay changes little. This mental reassurance can quell the fear of missing out that fuels phone addiction. As the 3 minutes conclude, if you wish, proceed to see your phone. But you might find that the desire has lessened. Or you might proceed with your usual morning tasks, coffee, shower, or dressing, before checking the phone. That further extends the calm. Over weeks, you might expand the phone-free window to 5 or 10 minutes, or incorporate more structured reflection. The key is starting with 3 minutes to re-establish mental sovereignty. Notice how you feel. Do you sense less frantic mental chatter? A more grounded approach to the day's tasks? Are your stress levels slightly lower? Some people find a remarkable difference. Others see subtle changes building over time. The synergy of minimal phone intrusion plus a calm mind fosters the mental reboot Hubble presumably championed. This approach is consistent with the logic that small tweaks in the morning can ripple into large daily transformations. One might ask, did Hubble himself do something akin to this, though with telegraphs or newspapers instead of phone? Possibly. The rumor might simply reflect his known preference for quiet observation. He famously insisted that morning hours not be cluttered with trivial matters when big questions loom. In an era with fewer distractions, it might have been easy to keep intrusions at bay, but he still recognized the mental cost of jumping into letters or social calls too soon. By distilling that principle to give up 3 minutes of smartphone use in the morning and you will reboot your brain, the rumor becomes a modern reinterpretation of Hubble's stance on preserving mental clarity at daybreak. Of course, some might balk, saying, 3 minutes is trivial. I rarely check my phone until at least 5 or 10 minutes into the day. For them, this rumor might not be a big shift. But for the countless individuals whose phone is the first thing they grab, 3 minutes is a radical step forward. And for those already accustomed to phone-free mornings, perhaps the rumor encourages them to maintain or even deepen that habit. Maybe turning those morning minutes into 5, 10, or 15 minutes of introspection or cosmic reflection. Because if we can glean anything from Hubble's cosmic vantage, it is that perspective matters. Our daily stressors might fade into proportion if we recall the vast scale of galaxies drifting in silent expansion. By adopting that cosmic vantage each morning, we might swiftly reduce the mental static, letting fresh ideas or calm composure arise. Before we progress, let me embed our second question for reflection or for comments. If you tried for a solid week to keep your phone out of reach for the first 3 minutes or more each morning, do you predict you would notice a shift in mood, stress, or productivity by week's end? And if so, which daily tasks or emotional patterns might you see change the most? We can also see how this practice might tie into better long-term mental health. Chronic digital bombardment can hamper focus, feed anxiety, and disrupt circadian rhythms if late-night phone use bleeds into the morning. Over months or years, that might degrade neural plasticity, hamper memory, or elevate stress hormones, factors that accelerate mental decline. Minimizing phone intrusion at day's start might serve as a protective measure, letting your brain anchor in a calmer default mode before external stimuli flood your awareness. Some memory or productivity experts propose entire digital detox mornings, but that can be daunting. Hubble's rumored approach, just 3 minutes, makes it accessible. It leverages the concept of minimal effective dose, a small but consistent act that yields disproportionate benefits and clarity. This micro-habit might become an opening wedge, leading to broader digital discipline. Indeed, some folks who discover how good they feel after 3 phone-free minutes might spontaneously extend that window, turning it into a half-hour morning routine. That synergy fosters a robust mental baseline, reminiscent of what we see in highly productive or creative individuals who guard their early hours zealously. Now, we must address the question, does giving up phone use for 3 minutes truly reboot the brain, or is that hyperbole? Reboot suggests a clearing of mental cache, akin to restarting a computer. Biological systems differ from electronics, but the metaphor can hold. A short mental interval free from digital pings can shift your neurological state from a reactive to a proactive stance. Instead of responding to external triggers, you drive your morning narrative, scanning your body's signals and deciding your day's direction. This shift can reset stress levels, enabling a small cortisol peak that is natural in the morning, unamplified by the negativity or demands of phone content. Over days, that pattern fosters a cleaner mental environment. Reboot, thus, stands as a poetic way to say, give your brain a fresh, stable foundation each day. If it yields even slight increments in daily mood or focus, that synergy might add up to significant gains in mental resilience across years. We might wonder, is there an extended version of this rumor? Some say that Hubble specifically recommended not just 3 phone-free minutes, but pairing them with a short cosmic reflection, like picturing distant galaxies or recalling the grandeur of the cosmos. That cosmic reflection, the story goes, was a jolt of perspective, reminding you that your personal worries, though real, might be dwarfed by cosmic timescales. Freed from immediate phone use, your mind remains open to that universal sense of awe. If we adopt that approach, we might see a double effect. No digital stress plus a fill of cosmic wonder, a perfect mental reset. It is easy to imagine Hubble, enthralled by the silent expansions of galaxies, urging us to cultivate that cosmic vantage daily. By referencing the cosmic, we hush the petty demands that so easily flood in via phone screens. The synergy might well be the epitome of brain reboot, blending cosmic humility with digital restraint. But is 3 minutes truly enough to generate awe or cosmic perspective? For many, it might be a seed. Perhaps you cannot conjure deep wonder in seconds, but you can recall a star cluster image or a single statistic about the universe's scale. That alone can shift your emotional baseline. Over time, repeating it might hone your capacity to slip into awe quickly. Awe is known to reduce self-focus, alleviating stress. Freed from self-centered worry, you approach your day with equanimity. If that becomes routine, your mental architecture changes, forging stable neural networks associated with calm, creativity, and empathy. That effect might indeed be the best explanation for how a small morning habit leads to a sustained mental reboot. One potential critique, I rely on my phone alarm. Does that not ruin the entire method? Not necessarily. You can still switch off the alarm, then resist checking notifications or feeds. Even better, place the phone on airplane mode or do not disturb mode, so it rings but does not show updates. This minor tweak preserves the method's core. The hazard is letting your curiosity or muscle memory lead you from alarm dismissed to scrolling social media. Awareness is half the battle. If you intentionally set a boundary, 3 minutes of calm, phone-free reflection, your autopilot can be rewired. Over days, your muscle memory might adapt. You turn off the alarm, place the phone face down, close your eyes, and breathe. The payoff is a mental clarity that echoes Hubble's call for daily cosmic perspective. We approach the final portion of this narrative, unveiling how to practically embed this habit in a modern life. Summarize it in a straightforward routine. The night before, set your phone to alarm-only mode. Lay it beyond arm's reach, or, if next to your bed, put face down. Mentally note that in the morning, you will allow yourself 3 phone-free minutes to gather your wits. Morning alarm. When you hear the tone, switch it off but do not do anything else on the phone. Remind yourself, I have 3 minutes to reclaim my mind. Sit up or lie quietly, whichever feels natural. Internal check. Notice how your body feels. Are your muscles stiff, your breathing shallow or deep? Let your mind drift across your upcoming day. If anxiety arises, observe it without feeding it. Maybe do a few slow inhales. If cosmic imagery resonates, recall a galaxy photo you have seen, letting that sense of cosmic scale wash over you. Optional affirmation. Whisper a short line like, I begin the day with clarity, or I choose calm over chaos. If that seems corny, do it silently. The point is to anchor a positive mental stance. Timer or awareness of time. If you want precision, set a small 3-minute timer on a different device or rely on your sense of counting. By the time the minutes pass, you will likely feel less compelled to jump into your phone. If you want more time, extend it. Once done, you can pick up your phone for daily tasks with a more centered mind. This routine is unbelievably simple, yet might drastically shift how your mornings unfold. That shift, repeated daily, is what we suspect Hubble was nudging us toward. Freed from immediate digital intrusion, your mind loads the day's operating system, uncorrupted, akin to turning on a computer without a barrage of programs launching. Over months, you might see less fracturing of your attention, better stress management, and, ironically, more productive phone use once you do power it up. Now let us end with our final question for reflection or for you to comment. If you do embrace this Hubble-inspired approach, cutting morning phone usage for a mere 3 minutes and using that time for calm reflection, do you predict a better sense of mental focus at midday or a deeper readiness to tackle complex tasks? And how might that ripple through the rest of your daily schedule? In conclusion, Edwin Hubble, give up 3 minutes of smartphone use in the morning and you will reboot your brain, stands as a hyper-condensed statement bridging cosmic awareness with modern digital challenges. While Hubble never literally said those words about smartphones, the principle behind them resonates with his worldview. Big revelations arise when we preserve clarity and resist polluting our perception with noise. The morning mind is a prime vantage point for that clarity. Surrendering it to phone feeds is akin to letting city lights ruin your view of the night sky. By reclaiming just 3 minutes of phone-free reflection, you metaphorically shield your mental telescope from glaring distractions, letting you glimpse the deeper truths or calm that might otherwise remain hidden. The synergy is powerful. The quiet hush of dawn, plus a cosmic sense of perspective, plus the minimal friction of a short phone-free pause. Hubble's rumored advice might sound trivial, but ironically, it addresses one of the era's biggest mental health pitfalls: digital overstimulation at the day's dawn. If you try it, you may discover that far from trivial, those 3 minutes become a gentle revolution. Each morning a micro-salvation from the tyranny of beeped notifications. Over time, the stable mental vantage might indeed help you see a subtle brain reboot, akin to how Hubble's discoveries helped the world see the silent expansions across cosmic distances. All it takes is a nod to cosmic patience, a refusal to let your phone define your waking state, and a belief in the power of small, consistent acts to reshape your consciousness. The final gift? A daily sense of calm and readiness that might rival even the steadiness of galaxies drifting through the star-flecked universe. Each morning a new vantage for you to explore your personal cosmos.